Stop everything you're doing right now and truly listen to what I'm about to tell you. Have you ever noticed that the same problems repeat in your life? The same types of conflicts with different people? Similar situations at different jobs? Repeating patterns in relationships? This isn't coincidence. This isn't bad luck. This isn't an evil world that's against you. This is the mirror law in action. The world around you is a reflection of what's inside you. Every person in your life is a mirror showing you parts of yourself you either don't see or refuse to acknowledge. Every problem is an invitation to look deeper within yourself. The moment you stop looking for culprits outside and start looking within will be the moment when everything begins to change. Think about it. Most people live in the illusion of separateness. They believe they exist as isolated beings in a world that happens to them. He did this to me. She made me feel this way. The world is unfair to me. An entire life passes in blame, complaints, attempts to change others. But the truth is radically different. There is nothing out there that isn't a reflection of something in here. The world is not the cause. The world is the effect. The cause is your consciousness, your beliefs, your unhealed wounds, your unacknowledged shadows. Today, we won't talk about how to change the world. We'll talk about how to change yourself, the only change that's truly possible and that automatically changes everything else. Scientific foundation. Let's begin with psychology. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists, spoke about the shadow. Parts of our psyche that we suppress, deny, consider unacceptable. These qualities don't disappear. They remain in the subconscious, and we project them onto others. If you deny your anger, you'll be surrounded by angry people. If you suppress your need for control, you'll attract controlling partners. If you don't acknowledge your greed, you'll see greed in everyone around you. This is called psychological projection. You take unacknowledged parts of yourself and see them in others. Then you react to them where they're safe, in the external world, instead of meeting them inside. This is a defense mechanism, but it's also a prison, because while you project, you cannot heal. You're stuck in a cycle of fighting shadows outside that are reflections of shadows inside. Neuroscience adds another layer. Your brain doesn't perceive objective reality. It interprets stimuli through filters of your beliefs, past experiences, emotional state. Two people can experience the same event and have completely different experiences because their brains interpret through different filters. You literally don't see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. Your perception is a projection, and what you perceive determines your reality. The problem and its origins. Where did this illusion of separateness come from? From the ego. The ego is a construct of identity that says, I am a separate being. This is useful for functioning in the world, but it's also an illusion. At the quantum level, everything is interconnected. At the level of consciousness, we are all one. But the ego creates the illusion of boundaries. I'm here. The world is there. This illusion creates conflict. When you identify with the ego, you become defensive. You must be right. You must defend your image. Any criticism is an attack. Any reflection of an unpleasant part of you is a threat. Therefore, you deny, you blame, you project. The problem isn't me. The problem is them. This protects the ego, but it also keeps you stuck in the same patterns. Society amplifies this illusion. Victim culture, blame culture, always find someone to blame. Parents, government, society, partner, boss. This is convenient. It removes responsibility, but it also removes power. When someone else is to blame, you're powerless. Only when you take responsibility, even for what seems unfair, do you gain the power to change. Call to subscribe. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'll give specific practices for shadow work and liberation from projections. Subscribe to Energy of Spirit, give a like, and leave any comment, for example, 1111, a sign of awakening and alignment. Each of your comments and likes helps this knowledge reach those who are ready to take responsibility and become creators of their reality. Thank you for your power of awareness. Mirror of irritation. The first and simplest mirror is irritation. Whatever irritates you and others points to something in you. If someone's arrogance triggers you, look, where are you arrogant? Maybe not as obviously, maybe in the form of I know better or my way is right. If someone's carelessness angers you, where are you careless? Maybe with yourself, with your needs, with your promises to yourself. The rule is simple. If something in another triggers you more strongly than seems reasonable, it's your shadow. Not every irritation is projection. Sometimes people genuinely behave unacceptably. But if the reaction is disproportionately strong, if you can't let it go, if it occupies your mind for hours, this isn't about them. This is about an unhealed part of you that they're reflecting. What to do? When someone irritates you, stop. Instead of immediately reacting, ask, what does this reflect in me? Where do I do the same thing? What unacknowledged part of me is activated? This requires maturity, requires willingness to look at the unpleasant. But this is the path to freedom. When you acknowledge the shadow, it loses power. When you heal it in yourself, people outside either change or leave your life. Because the mirror is no longer needed. Mirror of attraction. The second mirror is the people you attract. Every person in your life is there not by accident. They reflect something in you. Sometimes they reflect healed parts, your strengths, qualities you own. These relationships are easy, fulfilling, but often people reflect unhealed parts, wounds, needs, patterns. If you constantly attract unavailable partners, look, where are you unavailable? Emotionally. Maybe you're guarding your heart. Maybe you're unavailable to yourself, not listening to your needs. If you attract critical people, where is your inner critic? Likely harsh. External criticism is a reflection of internal criticism. If you attract people who use you, where do you allow yourself to be used? Where do you have no boundaries? Where do you measure your worth by usefulness? This isn't blame. This isn't you deserve bad treatment. These are attraction patterns based on subconscious programs. When you heal the program inside, external circumstances change. Either people change their behavior or you stop attracting such people. Mirror of conflict. The third mirror is conflicts. Every conflict is an opportunity to see yourself. Almost all conflicts arise not from the situation itself, but from unmet needs, violated boundaries, unacknowledged emotions. When you're in conflict, the usual reaction is, I'm right, he's wrong. But what if both are right? What if these are two different perceptions of one reality, each filtered through personal history? Practice. In the next conflict, instead of defending your position, ask yourself, what does this situation reflect about me? What need of mine is unmet? What boundary of mine is violated? What emotion of mine is unexpressed? Switch focus from how do I change him to what do I need to change in myself? Not to become a victim, but to gain power. When you take responsibility for your part, your triggers, your reactions, your needs, conflict often resolves. Not because the other changes, but because your changed perception and behavior create a different dynamic. You exit the dance of conflict. And when one dancer leaves, the dance stops. Mirror of admiration. The fourth mirror is admiration. Not only negative things are reflected, qualities you admire in others also exist in you. Maybe hidden, maybe undeveloped, but they're there. If you admire someone's courage, you have courage. If you admire someone's wisdom, wisdom lives in you. If you admire someone's creativity, you are creative. We tend to project not only shadow, but also light. We see in others qualities we don't dare acknowledge in ourselves. Oh, I couldn't do that. I'm not that talented. But the truth is, you cannot recognize a quality in another if it doesn't resonate with something in you. Perception requires correspondence. You see what you know. Use admiration as a map. Every time you admire someone, ask, how does this quality live in me? Where can I develop this more? Instead of worshiping others, recognize these qualities as potential in yourself. This isn't arrogance. This is acknowledging truth, that everything you see in the world is a reflection of possibilities in you. Shadow work. So how do you practically work with the shadow? First step, make a list. Write down qualities you most hate in others. Be honest. Greed, selfishness, laziness, aggression, victimhood, manipulation, whatever triggers a strong reaction. This list is your shadow. Second step, acknowledgement. For each quality, ask, where does this live in me? Don't rush. Be willing to look deeply. The ego will resist. No, I'm not like that. But if it triggers you and others, it's in you, maybe in a different form, maybe suppressed, but it's there. Find examples. Be compassionate with yourself. This isn't about judgment. This is about acknowledgement. Third step, acceptance. This is the hardest part. Accept that you contain everything, both light and shadow. That being human means having the full spectrum. You're not an angel, you're not a demon, you're human, and this means complexity, contradictions, multiplicity. When you accept the shadow, it no longer controls you from the subconscious. It becomes available for transformation. Fourth step, integration. Ask, what gift exists in this shadow? What wisdom? Every quality has a healthy expression. Anger can become passion. Selfishness can become healthy boundaries. Laziness can become the ability to rest. Don't suppress the shadow. Integrate it. Find a way to express it constructively. Then it serves you rather than controlling you. End of blame. When you understand the mirror law, blame becomes impossible. Not because others are perfect, but because you understand. Their behavior reflects something in you. This doesn't make their behavior right. This doesn't mean staying in toxic situations. Boundaries are still important, but the energy changes. Instead of, how could he do this to me? What does this teach me about myself? Instead of, she needs to change. What do I need to change in myself? This isn't passivity. This is the deepest form of responsibility. Responsibility not for others' actions, but for your reactions, for your attraction patterns, for your perception, for your part of the dance. When you stop blaming, you stop being a victim. You become a creator. Every situation is an opportunity for growth. Every person is a teacher, even those who cause pain, especially those. They show the deepest wounds that need healing. Thank them, not for the pain, for the mirror, for the opportunity to see what was hidden, for the invitation to transformation. Change from inside out. Here's what's magical. When you change inside, the world outside changes. Not because the world reacts to you, but because your perception changes. You literally begin to see a different reality. What used to trigger no longer touches you. People who were problems either change in your perception or naturally leave your life. You begin attracting different people, those who resonate with your new frequency. New opportunities appear. Old patterns break. And you wonder, what changed? Everything looks different, but nothing outside changed. You changed. Your consciousness, your perception, your frequency. And since the world is a mirror, it reflects the new you. This isn't a quick process. Shadow work is a life's journey, layer by layer. Every time you think you're done, a new mirror appears, showing a deeper layer. But each acknowledgement, each healing, each integration brings more freedom, more peace, more authenticity. You become more whole, more integrated, more conscious. Highest truth. Here's the deepest truth of the mirror law. There are no others. At the deepest level, we are all one consciousness experiencing itself through countless forms. Every person is you in another body. Every situation is you teaching yourself a lesson. The universe is not a place where you live. The universe is you becoming aware of yourself. When you truly understand this, not intellectually, but experientially, separation disappears. Conflict becomes impossible. How can you conflict with yourself? How can you hate another knowing the other is you? This doesn't mean no boundaries. This doesn't mean allowing everything. This means deep compassion, deep understanding, deep love. You see pain in another as your own pain. You see joy in another as your own joy. You see humanity in everyone because it's your humanity reflected back. And from this understanding comes true change, not struggle, not conflict, but transformation through love, through unity, through recognition that the mirror and the observer are one and the same. Powerful conclusion. The world is not a problem to be solved. The world is a mirror to be understood. Every problem in your life is an invitation to look deeper within yourself. Every person is a teacher showing you something to acknowledge in yourself. When you stop looking for enemies outside and start looking within, everything changes. Not because the world became better, but because you became more conscious. Most people spend their entire lives fighting mirrors, blaming the reflection for what they don't want to see in themselves, trying to change the world without changing themselves. And they wonder why nothing changes, why the same problems repeat. Because they didn't understand the mirror law. They didn't take responsibility. They didn't do the only work that matters, inner work. Right now, in this moment, look at your life, at the problems, at the conflicts, at the people who trigger you. Ask, what do they reflect about me? What part of me needs healing? What shadow demands acknowledgement? Don't defend, don't blame, just look with honesty, with compassion, with willingness to see truth even if it's uncomfortable. Begin today. Choose one person or one situation that triggers you. Instead of reacting, reflect. What does this show about you? Where do you do the same thing? What wound is activated? Meet this wound. Heal it. Integrate the shadow and watch as the external situation transforms. The world is waiting for you to take responsibility, not for it, for yourself, for your perception, for your projections, for your reactions. When you do this, you stop being a victim. You become a creator, not a creator of the world, but a creator of your experience of the world. And that's the only thing that was ever in your power, the only thing that matters. The mirror law is not punishment. It's a gift of self-knowledge, a gift of transformation, a gift of freedom. Accept it, work with it. Allow every mirror to show you a deeper truth about who you are. And when you see yourself fully, light and shadow, strength and vulnerability, beauty and pain, you will be free. Free from the illusion of separateness. Free from the need to blame. Free to be fully, authentically, consciously alive. The mirror has shown the way. Now walk it.